sweat in my living room after that game. It was like 11:45 too. I had to go to bed. I was just sweating.
I hope you know that's going in the video.
Oh, yeah, put it in there.
Profusely sweating because the
I was profusely sweating at 11:45 because Isaiah Pacheco has the vision of Helen Keller. You put that in the video too.
needs a GPS to get through the hole.
How is he running backwards? Like, what possible route would send you backwards? I heard someone say something along the lines of like, well, maybe they were gonna do a pitch play, like a lateral for like a QB or not a QB sneak, like a trick play where Pacheco throws the balls. Like, there's no way in hell they were doing that.
But my biggest thing is, why did Mahomes even throw it? Just take the sack.
It's true. I think it goes back to the trying to make something out of nothing.
What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, I am once again joined by my good friends, Josh Fann and Michael Darcy. Darcy from the KC Sports Report and Josh Fann from Show Me Football. Guys, I want to just jump right in. Obviously, there's a lot of rumors going around still about the Kansas City Chiefs. We see how this offense is currently functioning. There's a lot of question marks, guys. We're missing guys due to suspension, injury. We got guys that just don't know where to go, it seems like, when they're running routes. We have a running back that has absolutely no idea how to run the football. We have a backup running back that literally looks like he's running slower than a snail. There's just so many things that are going on with this offense, yet you have a quarterback that just seems to be literally carrying this team. But where I'm going to go with this is obviously there's some trade rumors. And I've seen a lot. It's just the question is any of this going to come to fruition? So, Josh, I'm going to start off with you. If you had to pick, and I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to kind of go a little bit further with it. But if you had to pick one position for an acquisition, where are you targeting?
Running back, in my opinion, because they just lack juice at that position. And if it's not going to be Brashard Smith because they don't seem intent on making it Brashard Smith, then you need to go and get someone outside the organization. Michael was talking about this on his channel earlier today, but Isaiah Pacheco looked better against the Giants relative to how he's looked this season, 4.5 yards per carry. But as Michael points out, the Giants have been allowing 5.8 yards per carry on average to running back. So Pacheco's still like below the average against the Giants. So it's just like, that's not cutting it for me. And the Chiefs could survive without getting a running back, but that doesn't mean they should sit back and do nothing about it. They need to go and get someone that threatens defenses, because that, and I've been saying it over and over again, that will open up the pass game more if you have a running back that actually matters to people. Because the Chiefs are facing, guys, I don't know if you knew this, the most amount of light boxes in the NFL this season. Over 70% of the plays the Chiefs are seeing light box, and yet they suck at running the football. If that doesn't tell you need a running back, I don't know what does.
For sure. Darcy, I'm gonna wind you up, so I'm going to let you kind of stew on this for a second. Josh, I'm going to ask you one more question. So obviously you highlighted running back. I 100% agree. I've seen a lot of trade rumors for wide receivers. I think that's going to come once we get guys off the suspension, the injuries fix themselves. I think that portion, and we're seeing the success of Tyquan Thornton, which has been just unbelievable. So which running back that has been rumored to the Kansas City Chiefs would you obviously go get?
If I just had my choice, honestly, like, we're not talking about like contracts or like real, I mean, it's somewhat realistic. I would love Devon Achane from the Miami Dolphins, and I've seen that name thrown around a lot. I'm not convinced he's actually available. Quite honestly, I don't know why the Dolphins would trade him. He's still really young. He's under contract. Like, doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, I'd call and just ask and see what it would take, because, man, that guy and his speed in this offense, that would be something. But realistically speaking, most realistically, Alvin Kamara is a really, really good fit for this Chiefs offense. I don't think he's ever ran for 1,000 yards. He's ran for like 800, 900 yards consistently, but he's never ran for 1,000 yards, I don't believe. But where he really helps out is the passing game. He is a great receiver out of the backfield, which makes him an instant fit for the Kansas City Chiefs offense.
For sure. So with that being said, Darcy, I've been cooking this one up for you, buddy. Obviously, one of the things that I kind of talked about off video was the fact that anytime it feels like we acquire a significant piece for the offense, DeAndre Hopkins, a few years ago, I know we acquired somebody, and it feels like when we acquire somebody of impact, they just don't mesh into the offense. They take forever to learn the system. For whatever reason, it's almost like we just drag them along, and they just don't have success for whatever reason. What are your thoughts on that? Really, what is going on when we acquire somebody? Why does it just seem like we don't have success with them?
Well, I'll tell you what. Andy Reid's offense has not been good in 3 years. Is anyone going to push back on that? Have they been good in 3 years?
I won't, but a lot of people might.
Okay,
You're not
well,
allowed
they're
to say
stupid.
that.
I'll say that right now. They are not a good. They've been 15, and now they're 21. They haven't been a good offense. If you want to be mediocre, then settle for that. They have not been a good offense. We keep hearing Andy Reid's offense is so difficult to learn. Andy Reid's offense, it takes a long time to get a real handle on it. Maybe Andy Reid should dumb his offense down because it sucked for the past 3 years. And I don't understand why we can't use someone like a DeAndre Hopkins who goes to Baltimore and right away has an impact in that Buffalo game. And I'm sure he's going to have significantly more impacts over the course of the season. Why is it that whenever talent leaves this building, whether it's on the offensive or defensive side of the ball, they flourish? Josh Uche is a perfect example of this. You send Mike Pennell off. He was number 1 in the NFL in stopping the run in the first couple weeks of the season. So it's like, I don't understand what the Chiefs are doing in that aspect, but specifically getting back to the offense. If the Chiefs offense was 2022 or even 2018, 2019 level good, Andy Reid can say whatever he wants. Yeah, it's complicated. Yeah, it takes a certain amount of personnel to run this offense. It hasn't been good in 3 years, and we keep pretending like, oh, it's just going to get better when Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy come back. I'm not sold. I think the problem is deeper. I think the issue is Andy Reid is not being realistic with his play calling. I mean, a screen pass to Travis Kelce, who's 35 years old? What are we doing? Like, I think there's a deeper issue than just personnel. I think personnel is a massive problem. I don't think that they've really given Mahomes much talent outside of Travis Kelce over the past couple years. I mean, I guess they have, but they're always hurt or injured or suspended. Character concerns, but I don't know. I think the fact that we're sitting here talking about, well, if this happens and if this happens, the Chiefs offense will be okay. Guess what? It hasn't freaking happened, and so it's kind of dumb to assume that it's going to be.
I think, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think you kind of talked about it a little bit in one of your videos. My take on this is, and I don't want to like spin it negatively, but the reason why I think we're kind of just, I guess, duct taping this offense along is because I really think they envisioned guys in specific roles. That's how they practice. That's how they really implement them into the game plan. You literally take out Rashee Rice, which I think they were more or less anticipating that, to plug a Jalen Royals in and really kind of go out there and perform not necessarily up to a standard of a Rashee Rice, but at least kind of have some of that contribution and pair that with some other people. Then you take out Xavier Worthy, and you completely are taking out guys that are supposed to just impact this offense in such a way that they're having to try to fix these issues with guys that they didn't anticipate playing those spots, like a Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown could have easily been a number 1 back in the day. He's not a number 1 anymore, and you're asking him to almost be that guy, and it's just not working. You're asking me, like you said, Travis Kelce running a screen route. That makes 0 sense, but it's like, who else is going to be able to necessarily do that? Because they ran a similar thing with a Juju Smith-Schuster, and it's like it kind of worked, but in a way it didn't. Like, you're asking Juju to even step up more of a role than I think they anticipated. And so what I think's going on is they're just trying to figure out ways to get through this lull in their offense, because I think once those guys get back, it's going to be literally a rejuvenation for Mahomes, because those guys are going to be able to then fill the roles that they were intended to fill. And this offense is going to start clicking because you have a Rashee Rice running the routes he's supposed to run. Travis Kelce then is going to be able to run the routes he's intended to run. You're going to have Xavier Worthy running the routes that he is anticipated to run. So everything's going to start functioning, which then I think will help out with the run game. But I think when you have guys that are out there that are just filling roles that they have absolutely no reason to be filling, that's where they're struggling. Like Tyquan Thornton, let's say that this entire thing was completely, we're 0-0, everybody's healthy, and nobody's suspended. Is Tyquan Thornton contributing the same way he is now as he would be with those guys out there? I don't think so. I think he would have a few deep balls. He may have 1 touchdown, but the fact that he's going off because he has to, that's where I think we're at with this offense. And that's why I think I'm so optimistic about this football team, is that they're literally just trying to get to the point where they get these guys back and everything's just going to kind of explode in a positive way. Do I think they're going to be the old offense? No. But I think they're going to be a lot better than what they are. There's my rant. But Josh, I guess I'm going to kind of funnel a question to you. And that's, kind of back to the trade and obviously running back. Now we've seen Breece Hall kind of come up. Realistically, what are your thoughts on potentially a Breece Hall?
I'd
They're
sell
0-3.
my
They
soul.
can't. The quarterback situation's a coin flip because of injury, and a lot of people want Breece Hall. What are your thoughts on Breece Hall? Obviously, we'll definitely get to you, Darcy, for sure.
No,
but
I was just saying I'd sell my soul for Breece Hall. Like
yeah,
I
I
give a
mean, I
second
guess
round draft pick.
realistically, he's in a contract year. I mean, they're obviously not going anywhere. What are your thoughts on potentially getting a Breece Hall?
I would love it. I mean, he's got more juice than they have. He doesn't have the greatest vision ever, but I think when he does have a hole, he's going to burst through it in a way that Pacheco can't. And yeah, he would just be a breath of fresh air for this running back room. There's one thing I want to say about this, though, because I was thinking this to myself during Sunday Night Football, Chiefs versus Giants, and I'm watching Isaiah Pacheco. Because here's this annoys me, and it goes into what Michael was saying about the coaches and stuff like that. It's like almost, and I hate doing this, and I hate to say this, trust me, I do. But I almost found myself sitting there kind of rooting against Pacheco because you knew if he had a decent game that the Chiefs were going to cling on to it for dear life when it came to defending him and giving him a role in this offense. Because as soon as the game was over, they asked Andy Reid in the press conference, what are your thoughts on the game tonight? And one of the first things he said was, I'm really impressed by Isaiah Pacheco with those 4.5 yards per carry. And it's like, are you serious, dude? Like, it's almost reminiscent of when Sky Moore had the punt return against the Bengals. And that was a big play for us, but Dave Tobe immediately stepped into the press conference and he was like, how about Sky Moore? And it's like, yeah, we can't just forget about like the 5 muffed punts that he had during the season, though. So like Pacheco, we can't just forget like the dude is terrible and the Giants' run defense is terrible. So a good game shouldn't make you forget everything else. So I'm almost sitting there. It's like Frank Clark, where it's like, I am tired of seeing this guy and I want the Chiefs to make a change. But if he just does even a little bit well, they're not going to make a change.
For sure.
And Josh, one thing that I've kind of thought about, even if we traded for Alvin Kamara, let's say we traded for Breece Hall, let's say we even landed Devon Achane, I think Andy Reid would butcher it. I don't think they'd use him. I think it'd be Elijah Mitchell all over again, or it'd be Brashard Smith, where he's on the field, but they don't really give him a chance. I mean, as badly as this sounds, it would kind of take an injury to stop their pursuing of Pacheco being the number one back. I think it would take an injury.
I mean, even last year, it took Isaiah Pacheco getting hurt for them to go out and Kareem Hunt, and that was a move we thought they'd never make, and he became the team's best running back and really the team's best offensive player by the numbers. He had the most yards from scrimmage of any player on the team last year, and he was signed in week 4 off the street.
Well, I think too, and before I poke the bear, because I got to poke the bear with both of you, but I think we have to reflect back to when we had Jerick McKinnon, because Jerick McKinnon, I can't even remember how many consecutive games he had a touchdown. And 90% of them were not running the football. It was catching the football. But just the fact that Jerick McKinnon was providing a spark from the backfield in some form or fashion should speak to at least the running backs in an Andy Reid's offense can contribute in some way. Now, my question to you all, and this I think is a more realistic option, and this is what I'm excited to ask you all, if you can't tell by my little chuckle, is I feel like a move is going to happen, but I think it's going to be a Clyde Edwards-Helaire or a Carson Steele. Now, Darcy, what are your thoughts on that? Because truthfully, we talked about it. It's almost like the Dayton Moore approach. A lot of people probably have no idea who Dayton Moore is. It's you're so loyal to guys, you're so fixated on guys that you've had in the past that you keep them around even though they just are not contributing, or if they were to go somewhere else like the Saints, they just don't ever contribute and they come back to the Chiefs. So I guess my question to you is what realistically are your thoughts on a Clyde Edwards-Helaire being elevated or a Carson Steele?
I mean, good. We have been screaming, crying, begging for them to play Brashard Smith. And if their reaction to that is to elevate Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Carson Steele, I genuinely might turn my TV off. And I'm not even that high on them. I would love for them to trade for a running back. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they are so set in their ways. They're willing to go down with it. And I think, for better or worse, this is what we're going to get. Unless someone gets injured, I'm just very hesitant to say, oh yeah, Brett Veach is going to go make the pull on this. And I'm even scared that if they did, they'd mess it up because they don't run the football well.
For sure. Josh, my last question to you is, and let's say that the Chiefs do go 1-3. At what point do they hit the panic button to make a move? Or if they go 1-3, do you feel like they're not necessarily like giving up, or because obviously it's only 4 games in and the AFC is just a wild west right now. I think I said it earlier in this video or the previous one. The fact that the Cleveland Browns found a way to defeat the Packers just blows my mind. If they were to go 1-3, do you think they make a move?
1-3, probably not. I think if they go 1-4 with the loss to the Detroit Lions, though, or I guess no, because they don't play the Lions until
Jaguars
the
and Lions.
Yeah, if they get that 4th loss after the Lions game, I think you could see them make a move, because a win against the Jaguars shouldn't be like having anyone thinking that everything is fixed with this team, even if you look good in that game, because the Jaguars are terrible. That was the worst game of the weekend, by the way, Jaguars versus Texans. But, I want to go back to the CEH thing just real quick, because I was told when we signed him to the practice squad, it doesn't matter. It's just a practice squad spot. Why are you complaining so much? Like, there's never a chance that he'll see the field. And maybe he doesn't, but this is exactly why I was pissed even when they gave him a practice squad spot, because it's like, if you're on the team, like, you have a chance to see the field, more of a chance to see the field than someone that's not on the practice squad. Like, why is the practice squad now being reserved for old crappy veterans that would not have a spot in the NFL if not for the Kansas City Chiefs? Typically, the practice squad is for those young guys, those UDFAs that have upside, that you think they're not ready right now, but in a couple years they could be ready because they have upside. Why are we using these practice squad spots on guys that clearly just give you nothing? If that's the answer to anything, then I'm throwing in the towel.
Yeah, I think for the biggest thing for me, and I'm going to obviously target this one to Darcy, and then we'll wrap this up. You have a guy that has had success with the 49ers in the past.
To bring it up.
You have a guy that has the ability to snap off the runs that they're missing. We saw a little bit of it in the preseason for the minimal amount of time that they gave this guy. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, it's Elijah Mitchell. I just don't understand why he is and you've nailed it, Darcy. You've literally said, I think even in the preseason, he's going to be a healthy scratch for the whole season. That's another one. Why do you have him on the team taking up a spot if he's not going to contribute in any fashion at any point? What is a veteran of that caliber have to learn in an offense? You can't tell me that he's going to only get 4.5 yards per carry. That just seems crazy to me. So I guess, Darcy, why is Elijah Mitchell healthy and active every single week?
He must be washed. He must just suck. Like, that might be too blunt, too brutal, but he might just not be good. Or the Chiefs are bad judges of running back talent, which, shocker, maybe that's the case. But I don't know. I think, I don't know why they even have him on the roster. Maybe it's the guaranteed money. I would cut it. I keep getting so close to saying mean things. I would cut him very quickly. Like, what is he giving you right now? Unless he's just the best Gatorade pourer on the team, a great morale guy, get him out of here. Why does he have to be a healthy scratch every single week? And guess what? That trend's not going to change. I think in an alternate universe where Pacheco and Hunt get hurt, they would pull CEH from the practice squad before he gets activated.
And that's kind of my point. I agree. I think that is in the idea of these guys is like CEH is looming there, like he knows this offense.
So is Mecole Hardman. He just got cut, by the way. So
yeah, he just actually
he's on a plane back to Kansas City right now.
Yeah, he just signed with the Chiefs.
Okay.
Fake news. We're joking, obviously. I guess my final thing and how I'm gonna wrap this up is we go get Elijah Mitchell. But mind you guys, Javonte Williams, who signed with the Dallas Cowboys, signed relatively the exact same contract that Elijah Mitchell signed. So if you really knew that this was a concern, and I think that has some things to do with it, I am a little concerned with evaluating talent with the running back room, because consistently for the entire stretch, what seems like Brett Veach's tenure, we've gone out and either got guys that just have not worked on other teams in a Damian Williams, and he somehow finds a way to work here. Samaje Perine, Jerick McKinnon, injuries, finds his way to the Chiefs, has success, but we find a lot of those guys. We draft guys very late in the draft in the running back position. Outside of Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who again failed miserably for a first-round pick, I am starting to question if it's just evaluating the talent at the running back position is just not there. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I do think a trade will happen, though. I think just depending on when, that's the biggest question. I think eventually there will be enough pressure that a trade happens. That's going to be my comment section. Let me know down in the comment section who you think the Kansas City Chiefs will trade for. Obviously, everybody's going to say running back. If not a running back, what wide receiver? Because clearly that's what everybody else tends to kind of lean towards. So let me know who you guys think the trade will happen. I appreciate you guys coming on. We wrap up every video really the exact same way. So let everybody know where they can find you. Josh?
Show Me Football is the channel. Check out showmefootball.com and then follow the Twitter at showmef.
Maybe they'll go get a Mod Hardy. Darcy?
Maybe. You guys can find me on YouTube at KC Sports Report, and then listen to me on 810 on Wednesday nights, the night shift.
There it is. They won't get a Mod Hardy, by the way, because he's really good and
He's
he
too
just
good.
doesn't fit their MO.
Yeah,
So
too good.
we wrap up every video the same way. Have a good day.
That's not CEH.